Hi Montana, and welcome back to This Week in Grizz Nation. I'm your host, Will Thomas. Max Dupras here to bring you all your scores and highlights from UM Athletics this week. Don't worry, you'll see Will later on, but I'm filling in while he takes a well-deserved vacation. First up, basketball season is here, and Monday marked the start with the Lady Grizz taking on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Montana struggled in the first quarter, putting up just 14 points to the Bulldogs' 24. But a resurgence for Montana came in the second and third quarters with multiple one-point deficits coming from the Grizzlies. It was able to hold the Bulldogs to just 8 points in the second quarter, but an impressive offensive performance in the third wasn't enough to take down Gonzaga's lead. The fourth quarter sealed it for the Fighting Grizzlies as Kaylin and Kaylee Trong iced an otherwise close contest by leading the Bulldogs to a 30-point fourth quarter. Despite the struggles from Montana's defense late in the game, Helena native Danny Barch had a standout performance with 18 points and 10 rebounds. Montana allowed the Bulldogs to pull away, and Gonzaga won 83-70. Next up, the boys. Montana's men's team took on the Northwest Indian College Eagles in a game that looked over before it started. The Grizzlies delivered punch after punch to the Eagles, securing 54 first-half points to NIC's 22. Montana's top scorer, Aanen Moody, was on fire all night, leading the way with 25 points while dishing 4 assists. The Grizzlies also saw some impressive debuts, with freshman Money Williams being the team's second leading scorer with 19 points, while transfers Tajon Sawyer and Blake Jones all notched their first points as Grizzlies. And before the night was over, Missoula native Connor Dick came in swinging with a huge one-handed slam. This highlight was just one in a dominant 107-59 victory. That wasn't the only men's game of the week, as the Grizzlies traveled to Eugene to face the Oregon Ducks. The Ducks and Grizzlies played back and forth in the first half, with Montana being led once again by Moody. This first half ended in a 37-37 tie and helped put UM in a position for a huge upset. Unfortunately, the Grizzlies struggled in the second, allowing Oregon to put up 38 points to its 24, losing out 75-61. Jordan Williams and Chase Henderson both scored their first buckets in the Maroon, but a lackluster effort in the second half ultimately decided the Grizzlies' fate. Here's what Will Thomas got from Grizz basketball about the loss.
So how you feeling after tonight's game?
Somewhat of a moral victory. Just the first 30 minutes of the game, being able to play with them, a Pac-12 team that obviously has some really high-level players and elite guys on their team. But, just got to fix some things down the stretch. Just listen to what Coach says, make the adjustments we got to make, and then I think we're in it the whole game. And then we give ourselves a chance at the end.
Absolutely. And you said that first 30 minutes, so important tonight. Such a great outing in that first 30. What were the key successors there in that first 30 minutes that allowed you guys to stay in it?
We just followed the game plan, followed the scout. Shots weren't even falling. I think we're 30 from the field and 28% from three-point line. Shots weren't even falling, but just because we just did everything that we needed to do in our scout, that's what kept us in the game. And if we make a couple more shots, we could have opened up the game a little bit and we could have got a lead, but it just never happened.
Volleyball is up next, and it was a split. Montana took a trip to Ogden on Thursday to take on the Big Sky Conference's second leading team, the Weber State Wildcats. UM's scoring efforts weren't enough early as the Wildcats showed out in the first 2 sets, winning both 25-17. Montana crawled back with the help of Paige Clark and Maddie Shalantsev, but Montana wasn't able to extend the match, losing 26-24 in the third set and closing out a 3-0 loss against the Wildcats. Clark led the match in kills with Shalantsev and Maddie Kramer tying for second. The Grizzlies got a chance at redemption on Saturday against the Idaho State Bengals, and it was the Maddie Shalantsev show. The standout middle blocker showed out, logging 16 kills and 3 blocks on the day and helping lead the Grizzlies to a dominant 25-16 first set victory. It was all Montana from there on out, cruising to a 3-set victory, winning the second set 25-23 and the third 25-21. Shalantsev led the match in kills with Katie Semideni and Ellie Scherfius helping out at second and third. Montana's cross-country season wrapped up as well, and the Grizzlies took on the NCAA Mountain Regional in Lubbock, Texas. The strongest Grizz performance of the day came from Maxwell Scott, who earned 61st in the men's race. He finished with 30 minutes, 37.2 seconds, ending with the highest finish since 2017 for a member of the Grizz men's squad. The women were led by Jade and Jalen Hilgrimson, who finished 95th and 110th respectively. Jade logged 21 minutes and 58 seconds, while Jalen earned 22 minutes, 32.8 seconds. Finally, we're headed to Hillsboro as Grizz football was looking for its 6th Big Sky Conference win by doing it over the Portland State Vikings. While Portland State took an early 3-0 lead, it was followed up by 24 unanswered points from Montana. One of the stars of the show, quarterback Clifton McDowell, who ran for 3 touchdowns on the day. Eli Gilman also helped by adding 97 yards to the rushing clinic. From there, the Grizzlies cruised to a win, with Kiali'i Ayat leading the Grizz in passing with 131 yards. Braxton Hill led another game in tackles, with Riley Wilson logging 2 sacks and Garrett Husted getting 1. Here is what the Grizz football team had to say after that win.
You guys allowed that big touchdown play right there, and that's kind of one of those moments in a trap game that can maybe spark them. How did you guys maybe learn from that and kind of go from there?
Yeah, you know, I think it was a coverage bust, but, you know, coaches got us on the sideline, brought us together, you know, and just really uplifted us and were like, hey, you know, we got this. Don't respond to anything else. Focus on your assignment and your alignment. Don't worry about any of the outside noise, you know, because obviously that play built a little momentum for them. But, you know, we just responded to adversity, and that's what this team is built for, you know, where we're so resilient. So that's just what we do.
Our guys came in here and took this win from a really good football team. Thought our effort level was great. I thought our focus all week was great. Something I always worry about, you know, in this week in the schedule, the week before the last one. So credit to our players, our assistant coaches for really doing a nice job getting ready for this game and then going and performing.
And that's it for Grizz Sports this week. Come back next week where you will see Will back in his normal role. And guess what? It's Grizz Cat Week, folks. So prepare for some great matchups all week before culminating in a Saturday doubleheader where Grizz football will take on the in-state rival Bobcats and Grizz volleyball will face the Sacramento State Hornets. Man, I love a good rivalry.